one. Hola, everybody,
Hola.
for another fascinating look at what the heck are we doing here and why is it worth it? So I had interesting downloads the past couple of days, and it was kind of I don't even know what to call it. It was kind of an education on what the ego is and why we're trying to just ignore it. Okay. So we all have egos. Everybody has an ego. And it's not a bad thing. It's just the reality. And, I hope you can see today's talk as, boy, words are going to be hard for me today. As like, keep going. You're doing it. Okay. The ego was set up to protect us. Okay. Let me say that again. I want you to just hear this. The ego was set up to protect us. Now, in the nature of me saying that, guess what? It was protecting us from something we feared. Okay. And since humanity began, the ego started to get more and more developed. And so, now we find ourselves in a civilization that is terrified of just about everything. And so egos are maximizing themselves. But maybe, and I don't know, but maybe that's why there's more of us awakening, because they're finally blowing themselves up. And they have to at some point. And the reality is, the ego, if we don't see it, and I'll just speak from the parable of me. The more educated I became, the bigger my ego became. Because all education is kind of pushing you into the reality of be bigger, do more, get smarter, just big, big, big. And why? Because there's more things to fear. I mean, look at medicine. I'll just speak for medicine. I mean, there's a new disease they name every day. And why are more doctors needed? Because we have more diseases named every day to be fearful of. So this is the nature of the ego, is to get bigger and better. And it's another name for the ego, which I'm sure you've heard, the I know mind. So here we go. The reason I'm sharing this with you is that I want you to really see why we're doing this. Why are we challenging our thoughts? Why are we challenging our thoughts? Because all fearful thoughts are coming from an ego that is out of control. All fearful thoughts are coming from an ego that is out of control. And if we don't catch those thoughts, then we're just building a better ego. We're building a better ego to better handle fear. I don't know if you've had an opportunity to listen to people as they talk, normal, normal people. I'm not normal. You're not normal. You're in the Zoom room. Sorry. But normal people, what they're discussing 9 times out of 10 is sharing their ideas how to better protect themselves. That's what most conversations are. and then you get agreement, and then you get a collectively bigger ego, and it just ad nauseum, it gets bigger and bigger. And what we're doing, I don't know if any of you've seen The Chosen. I love it. I love it. I don't even consider myself a Christian, and I love The Chosen because it shows at the beginning, if you've seen it, there are all these fishes swimming in one direction, all going in the same direction. They're white fishes. And at some point, you see a little black fish swimming in the opposite direction. And as the show progresses over many episodes, there's more and more blackfish swimming through the oncoming whitefish. Okay. The reason I'm even sharing this is we're the blackfish. And this is great news, particularly for a rebel like myself. I've always wanted to be a rebel. Well, this is perfect. I'm being a rebel against myself. Small s. I'm trying to uncover me to see who I really am, which is really I am as you are, created in God's image. I know it says that in the Bible, I think. Some version of that. So we're getting back to our God mind. Okay? So this whole idea of there's two ways to think, same coin, two different ways. One through all of our senses, our eyes, our ears, all of this, all input coming into our brain. And most of that input is be very afraid. And if you don't want to get gotten by whatever, then you do things to protect yourself. And then people will share what it is you can better protect yourself with. And I'm saying, be the black fish. All those white fish are going, no, you'll fall off the cliff going that way, wrong way, turn around. And I'm telling you, keep going. This is why watch your thoughts like a hawk. And some of them, I mean, I've had some of my biggest breakthroughs on those little tiny thoughts that have become such a habit in my mind that when they come through, it's like they're like, whitefish coming through, and I just hear it as background noise. It's like, oh yeah, COVID, right? Yeah, I guess I should wear my mask. Whatever. It's subtle. And you want to grab those thoughts. Those are the thoughts you want to grab and become a bucking bronco rider on. Hang on. Just hang on. Put your butt in the saddle, hang on to the horn, and just trust this will come to some beautiful resolve with the help of Holy Spirit. And that's why when you catch these thoughts, immediately, Holy Spirit, not letting that one through. Holy Spirit, help me see this differently. I mean, I want you that's going to become your mantra as quickly as possible, because you don't have to do anything else. That's all you have to do. Holy Spirit, help me see that differently. Then if that thought comes through again, oh, wait, no, not on my watch. Holy Spirit, help me see that one differently too. And as you do this, and it sounds silly. I mean, even me sharing it sounds silly, but I went through, it's kind of like in Thoughtland, you hit up against a thought and you see it's not a healthy thought and it's causing you great suffering. And this is where you have to hang on to the bucking bronc. But it actually is, you're dissolving this belief that feels like a barrier. The belief is actually crumbling with every time you can catch it in mind. No, don't let this one through. This is not helpful, not helpful thought, not a helpful thought. And as you do that, you dismantle this belief, and then you become a free-floating blackfish again. Happy. And there's more of us going against the tide, so to speak. And it's, all, and what I love about it happening right now is this is not about great masters being born with pristine minds, and they're the only ones that can do this. No, we all can, and we're being asked to. And that's all A Course in Miracles is Jesus saying, this is a course in mind training. Chapter 2. This is a course in mind training. And it's some of the hardest stuff I've ever done. You know, okay. I had huge grievances against smoking cigarettes, okay? So I started actually smoking cigarettes probably 4 years ago. I don't smoke anymore. But for about 2 years, I smoked cigarettes because I actually wanted to really experience being an addicted smoker and seeing what that was like, because I had so many judgments about it. And I actually grew to really enjoy it. However, it was under strict guidance with Holy Spirit. I would only smoke when I prayed. Wouldn't smoke at any other time. Didn't smoke with other people. I smoked when I was in prayer. And quite frankly, quitting was simple. One day I just decided, I think we're done with whatever that was. And I have an ashtray and a pack of cigarettes in my room here. That was 2 years ago. And that's what's available to us with this mind training. At some point, problems just disappear. It's Lisa. No, not supposed to mention names. But we were talking before I put the recording on about bombs and noise. And it's like, don't just get pissed at noise. Like down here, Mexico, my God, bombs are blaring, music is blasting. I mean, it's always a party, but sometimes your mind says, not so much fun. I really don't like noise. How often did I say that when I first got here to Mexico? All the time. I really hate those bombs. And my God, can't they turn off the music at a reasonable hour? I mean, I had all those grievances, but I didn't let them go by. I worked with them. That was my access to continue swimming as a blackfish. As I'm swimming by all the whitefish, all they're going, damn, hate that music. Damn, hate those bombs. Hey, damn, don't you hate that music? How can you stand that? I'm sure you've heard these conversations with many different things. It's called criticism. We don't like it, and we're going to tell as many people as possible we don't like that. Well, guess what happens by doing that? You actually blow your ego up to be bigger. And this is where we have to really, oh man, stick tight to the commitment to see all as God sees, and not let those little thoughts come in and distract us, because you're going to be hearing this from all whitefish you're swimming by. Oh my God, be careful. Don't go out there. COVID will get you. Oh no. Oh no, watch, there's too much traffic. It's not safe. It's a way to really, if you haven't healed your relationship with your parents, if you can look at it as your parents are probably guided by fear. And what was their commitment to you? To keep you safe. So what did you get from them? A lot of criticism. Honey, it's too late. You should not be going out this late. Honey, be back by 9, or be back by the sun setting. I mean, this is just the way we were raised. And it's kind of like, and we're committed blackfish. I want to get buttons. I am a committed blackfish, because we're turning this around and saying, not on my watch. And it has nothing to do with you. It has to do with me seeing this. Because you see, if I get critical of you, guess what happens? My ego gets bigger. And I'm committed to not killing it off, but just to silence it. You know, to put it on the dusty shelf in the closet where it belongs. Because I don't think you can kill your ego. It's why we're here. And until we drop the body, the ego is going to have that voice in our head. You're not safe. You should be eating something different than that. Oh, that's not good for you. Oh my God, you need to get on magnesium. It's like I could go on for hours, but it's like, it's unnecessary. I know you understand what I'm saying. And so this is where stop digging the grave. Be a black fish. Turn around. And there's more of us. I mean, look, there's 10 of us in this Zoom room right now. And there's so many more out there that are actually challenging themselves to not continue in mind, go along with the flow. We're turning this around. And the way we turn it around is by catching all those little thoughts that try and slip by. Like, oh my God, who's yelling? I don't care. Holy Spirit, help me see that differently. You know, or driving. Oh my God, there's so much traffic. No, Holy Spirit, help me see that differently. It's every single little thing. And I tell you, the more you become a thought watcher, like a hawk, the faster the healing. The faster the healing. And can it be done in a day? I imagine. You know, and I know many, many teachers talk about it that way, and I am going for it. And I still, because I had built such an exquisite ego, as big as I could afford to pay with student loans, it took me a while. I had a lot of forgiveness to do. And, you know, would I have liked to wake up on a park bench like Eckhart? Absolutely. But that wasn't my script. I had a different script. So I just have to do it one thought at a time, one moment at a time. And that's why staying in the moment, you know, it's like just catch it, catch your thoughts. Because having a mind that doesn't think is possible. I have glimpses of it. And that's when I just focus on something, birds usually, or if I'm out and then there's the sun shining and it feels warm, I just sit and enjoy it. And then thoughts don't even happen. Now, that's not been always the case. I mean, what did I was almost like ADD of the brain, really. I had a mind that didn't turn off. And I was hyper vigilant for thinking thoughts. And I had to get hyper vigilance for seeing that I was hyper vigilant for thinking thoughts. And then I grabbed them. No, not that thought. Not helpful. Holy Spirit, help me see this differently. And that's all we're doing in these Zooms, is to becoming hyper vigilant for our true desire to think as a loving thought in the mind of God that we are. And the way to do that is get rid of all those thoughts. And a lot of them, you know, they've worn grooves. We have our favorite irritabilities. And then we build the Grand Canyon. And then turning that around is like one shovel at a time, one thought at a time. No, I'm not gonna dig this canyon any deeper. I'm not gonna dig this grave any deeper. I'm gonna stop. And it's all an inside job, completely. And you can do it anywhere. I always say it's kind of like Kegels. You can be doing Kegels and no one will know you're doing them. It's like, it's kind of a very personal thing, me and my mind. Okay, we're thinking something that I don't want to think. Great, Holy Spirit, your assistance is being called on right now. And I'm sharing this primarily to just see how this happened. I mean, this, because sometimes I just sit and go, oh my God, how have I lived this long? Well, so I could clear it. And that's the only reason I'm still here, is because I'm committed to the peace of God and experiencing that on an ongoing basis, moment by moment. And the only way I can do that is to catch these thoughts, catch these thoughts, catch these thoughts. And if there's a really stubborn stain, I call some of those thoughts, it'll keep coming. It's like me when, I thought my lungs hurt and I had to be on oxygen. It took me 3 months of breathing, and every breath was a prayer. And then at some point I thought, wow, I don't have that pain. I mean, at some point I wasn't even doing it to get rid of the pain. It was just, I'm breathing and Holy Spirit, help me see this differently. I'm breathing and Holy Spirit, help me see this differently. Then I may have had one breath that didn't hurt, and then the next one did. Oh, Holy Spirit, help me see this differently. It's the same thing. If you have body pain, that's how you deal with it. One moment of fearing something like pain and asking the Holy Spirit to see it differently, because we're not our bodies. And the only reason we're here is to wake up. I'm so committed on that. I really get, no matter who, and there isn't anyone, the truth, but if there is someone listening to this that really sees themselves in a body, the only reason we're here is to wake up, to take off these virtual reality glasses that we put on at birth. And then everyone just, all the whitefish said, yep, it's true. Yep, that's bad. Yep, that's bad too. Yep, that's how you protect yourself. Yep, yep, yep. And then we all bought into it. And those virtual reality glasses were really programmed. And so switching, I'm not even say taking off, but switching the virtual reality to the truth, from the way we think, from sensations to the truth, coming from the truth, is one thought at a time. And that's why we're here. And it's, I mean, God, I have this, I mean, all this came through last night and I started laughing hysterically. It's like, we're we're actually unlearning everything we've learned since birth. Everything. And that's kind of like, wow, that's kind of a big deal. So anyway, that was my last night that I thought I'd share with you. So with that being said, we're going to say goodbye to our YouTube friends. Goodbye, YouTube friends. And let me turn the recording off.